He's a blessing.
We're green?
They were green.
All right.
Ready for
We're
takeoff.
We should be streaming and we should be good to go. Call meeting to order at 6:02 p.m.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Attempt to do my best Michael impersonation. We'll do roll call for attendance. Raymond Kerr,
Here.
Luann Homa,
Here.
Brian Nolan,
Present.
Carrie Fox.
Here.
Brian Snyder.
Here.
Scott Danowski is here. Mayor Bob Lang.
Here.
Borough Solicitor Eric D.
Here.
Chief of Police, Chief is absent with cause. Today is actually his birthday. And finally, Code Enforcement Officer Anthony Bruni. Here. Awesome. All right, that brings us to the first citizens' comment section of the agenda. Anybody that is new or anybody that is watching, we offer two sections for citizens' comments. The first one, we ask that it is for anything that is listed on tonight's agenda. There are agendas on the table in the back if you didn't get one. We do offer a second citizens' comment section at the very end before we adjourn. That one we keep open for anything that was on the agenda or anything that is on your mind as a borough resident. So going back to this first one, I'll open the floor for anybody that has any comments on anything that is on the agenda this evening. City, I'll start with you. Got anything? Cindy?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Just throw something.
I'm still reading the agenda.
Oh, that's okay. The back row?
See if there's something I want to talk about.
No, the only thing, this last thing on your agenda, is that just a discussion, or are you gonna vote on that?
Discussion.
It's discussion.
Exceptions to the open meetings laws, there were no exceptions, there were no exceptions to the open meeting for just some updates on personnel matters, but there is nothing that has been held since our last meeting in May. Moving on to the minutes. The minutes were disseminated.
Second.
Carrie on the first, Brian Nolan on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously 6-0. Brings us to the communication section of the agenda. I do apologize, I only have a couple uploaded, so you're not gonna be able to see them on the screen, but I will do my best to kind of review them. The first one is a letter of resignation from Adam Blythe, dated May 16th, 2022. I unfortunately will have to resign from council due to my schedule and do not feel it's right for me to stay on and not be able to put in the work and attention that our great residents deserve. Wish you all the best and know that you all will continue to keep making the right decisions to help our town thrive. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to serve our community with you all. I feel that it would be best for me to resign at this time. Please accept this as my resignation from my second ward council position effective 5/31/2022. Signed, Adam Blythe. First one. Second communication is an event request from Bridgepoint Church. Again, summarizing it, they're requesting 4 Sunday mornings at Riverview Park. Have a church picnic food box giveaway. They're looking at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. On the final Sunday, they're going to give away book bags for the kids, and they have bikes and some other prizes for the summer reading program. You're fine. The dates are July 24th, July 31st, August 7th, and August 14th. Signed, Reverend Valerie Schubert, Bridgepoint Church. The next one is an event request from Leah Potter, is requesting her and her husband, I spoke with her yesterday. Her husband and her are both musicians, and they want to put on a Fun in the Sun kind of live worship on August 20th, which I believe is a Saturday. Yeah, it is a Saturday. 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. They're expecting about 50 people. I talked with her. They're going to have some musicians, play some music. They want to have a couple activities for kids, face painting. They're thinking the food-wise would be like hot dogs, popsicles, maybe bottles of water, things like that. Need electric, don't need water, don't need the road closed. But again, that is August 20th from 2 to 4. They're expecting about 50 people. Very nice lady. I spoke with her yesterday. The next one is from Gatto's. They're requesting a street closure between 6th Avenue and 7th Avenue on Saturday, July 18th, which is actually this Saturday for their annual street festival or kind of thing
You
that they
said
do.
July 18th?
I'm sorry?
Or
June 18th.
Okay.
Yeah, this Saturday. Number 5 is from Blackburns. They're having an employee appreciation event 2 Fridays from now, on Friday, June 24th, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. They are looking to provide a safe environment. We are requesting Corbett Street be blocked between 1st and 2nd Avenue, so just kind of the side of their building. They're looking to have that blocked off to be able to have an employee appreciation event. The next one, number 6, is another street closure request. It's from an individual named Jamie Bombalski. Starts out, my name is Jamie Bombalski and I now live in Creighton. Lists her phone number. I used to live at 806 North Ormond Street. During the time that I lived there, my neighbors and I had a couple block parties where we had the city of Tarentum block off the 800 block of North Ormond with sawhorses. It goes on to talk about they want to do that again. You will see once we get to the motion piece of it, we have motions listed for number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. I did not include a motion for this one. My reasoning why, and again, we have until August if we want to get some more information. My personal opinion right off the top, she's a non-Tarentum resident asking us to close streets in Tarentum. I don't know if that's something we want to get into. Maybe she's a spokesperson. I don't know, but being a non-resident asking us to close something, that's why it's not on the agenda this evening. And once we get to that part, we can talk about whether we want to get some more information from her.
I thought we didn't close streets for block
And
parties.
I know the last couple we haven't.
Yeah, I
We
know.
do
I don't
that.
remember closing.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember
Right,
the
yeah.
closing North Ormond before?
I never remember.
I believe maybe one time in
Yeah, I
my
don't-
22 years.
I mean, I lived up there for
Here, maybe once.
Yeah, I
10
don't
years. I
remember
never
being closed.
remember it.
Doesn't mean the party can't happen, but
Just
Yeah.
a kid first.
Wonder if, I don't know. I'm not
And she's
I'm not
talking,
speculating.
what, from 9th to 8th or 8th to 9th?
right. That's a chunk.
It's a busy street too.
Right.
A lot of people use that street.
But that is not on there. We can discuss more on that once we get there. The last one is dated June 7th, 2022. Just came in a few days ago, Tarentum Mayor and Council. My name is Kevin Bertocchi, and this letter is to express my interest in the open council seat for 2nd Ward, Tarentum, Pennsylvania. I've been a Tarentum resident for approximately 15 years now, owned and operated 3 businesses at one time in this town. I thank you for your time and consideration. So those are the 7 letters of communication that have come into the borough. Moving along, committee and department reports. Mr. Mayor.
I have nothing other than I performed my first wedding last month.
Oh,
Congratulations.
All right. Did you
It
take
went
pictures
on
and
without a
videos?
hitch.
Without a hitch, huh?
Fun,
Nice. Who did you marry?
A couple from 6th Avenue,
Oh,
or
okay.
West Tarentum.
West Round?
Very cool. President's report. Oh, there's nothing really going on new, is there?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
You're okay. You mean you're not going to have it anyway tonight? I'm as scared as
Yeah.
needs to say.
As everybody's aware, our borough manager's last day was Friday, June 3rd. So we are into, I guess, day 7 or 8 without a manager. That being said, I want to reassure, council already knows, but the public that is here and watching, we are operating, we didn't miss a beat. I had the opportunity to meet with both Alice and Michelle individually and just kind of get some things squared away of how we want to move forward without Michael being here. I had a nice conversation this afternoon with Jeff for about an hour. I spoke with Mark. Anthony and I have had some conversations just about, moving forward without somebody in that office. So again, to council, Eric and I have spoke, Mayor and I have spoke. So we are all systems go, and just to reassure council as well as the residents that, we won't miss a beat. That being said, just a couple little logistical things, just so people are aware. Michael's email address is still up and running. Alice and I, every communication that was coming in to Michael is now being passed along to both myself and to Alice. So it's not going to one person where it can get lost or whatnot. So everything that is coming into Michael, if you do send him an email, you'll get a response. We will get the email. I get it sent directly to me. You will get an automatic response saying, though, to use, instead of Amnestico, it's now manager at Tarentum Borough. It's the same inbox. But again, depending on how long we're vacant, when that new person comes in, the idea is that changes to, John Doe at TarentumBorough.com, and they were able to have the whole history of everything that is missed. So all the communications that are coming in are going to both myself and Alice. And, so we're not missing a beat there. The same thing with the phone. The phone, we actually get an email when he gets a voicemail. So again, we're not missing anything there. Just a couple things personally that I've done since our last meeting. I had our Allegheny League of Municipality Board of Directors meeting on June 2nd. This is the first time that we've had it at a different location. We actually had it at a park in Millville. And the big topic, we had a couple guest speakers. They talked a lot about blight and blighted properties and demos. I know we are all aware as council and even as citizens, we are ahead of the curve. I mean, Anthony, you've done a ton of work compared to some other municipalities around in our area. We got it going on as far as taking care of that, our code enforcement officer. So I was able to brag a little bit at just about some of the things that we've done, just throughout some of our statistics. So if you get a call from somebody saying, hey, I was at a meeting, and they mentioned, they might want to pick your brain a little bit. Because again, we are ahead of the curve with a lot of municipalities around us. Our next meeting is scheduled for September. I volunteered to maybe have it at Tarentum. We haven't picked that yet in the September weather, who knows. But I'll keep you guys posted. This meeting was outdoors. We have a beautiful park area that we can do the same kind of thing and bring people into the borough. So I'll keep you posted if that actually happens for September 1st. The only other update I have, the CDC meeting that I talked about last meeting was rescheduled, is now scheduled for June 29th, which is 2 Wednesdays from now, so I will be attending that. We'll be talking a lot about that NPP grant that we got. So that is on the horizon coming up. Just so the public is aware, I'll give you a very quick manager search update. I spoke this afternoon with Toby from Allegheny League of Municipalities Public Partners. We had about a 90-minute conversation, and we're moving pretty quick. So I don't have a whole lot I want to share publicly, but we're moving along pretty quick, so my fingers are crossed that we will be moving very quickly here in the next couple months, so, good news. The only other thing I have, shout out to the public work guys, town looks awesome, and tomorrow, it's tomorrow, right, is the next night market?
Thursday.
Thursday,
Tomorrow's one. Yeah,
Thursday,
Thursday.
sorry.
You're okay.
Will we see you there, Scott?
I'll be there
He thought it was
with bells on.
Wednesday.
I'll be there
He'll
with
be there
bells on.
tomorrow.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll be there. But yeah, that is Thursday, so that's all I have. And I didn't take notes on everything that I was talking, so I'll go back and kind of put that in the minutes. If that's all right with everybody else.
It's fine.
All right. Eric, solicitor report.
Yes, the closing on the 215 Corbett Street property is tentatively scheduled for Friday, June 24th, 2022. If that date is agreeable to the seller, which I think it should be. I'd spoken with the seller last Friday and Monday, so we should be able to tie that matter up, and that's all I have.
We're gonna do that right here in the Borough Building.
Correct.
Yeah, and I will be present for that as well as Eric. Anybody else?
9 a.m.
I'll try to be done.
All right. Police chief report.
On birthday.
I'm sorry?
He's on his birthday.
I don't know if he touched base with you about anything, but I have no report.
I think he's on vacation this week.
Yeah,
There's a
Yes.
report
Is it the whole
in here,
week?
isn't there?
that's
Just today.
Anthony's.
This whole week.
Oh, that's the Anthony's.
Yeah, that's Anthony's.
The,
Yeah, today actually is his birthday. Mr. Bruni, code officer.
I'll speak a little more about those vacant property acquisitions when that comes up. Just to update council, I spoke with the consultant for the zoning map redraw and gave her some of the issues that we want to target, and she's going to set up a meeting with me so we can outline what our priorities are. And I had also asked if she could do a little workshop with some select members that people will be able to give input as to redrawing the map, what they want to see more of, less of. I want to try to have as much input as possible before and make sure we have it down pat the way so that it's going to hold up for years to come. So I think we'll have some representatives from planning and zoning as well. Everybody can have a chance to input, so we do it so it's almost airtight. So I'll keep you updated when that's going to happen. In terms of the demolition project for this year, I had said that we had 3 property owners that came forward asking for a delay in the demolitions. I've since eliminated one of them. They've no longer shown interest in rehabbing their property. One is going ahead with rehabbing the property, and there's another one that I've given till the end of June for some progress, and if not, then I'm going to pursue the demolition on that property. So 1 out of the 3 is making some efforts, and so I'm going to keep that off the list temporarily. I'm hoping July 1st to come up with a modified list that we can put out for bid. So it's going to look like more like 8 properties as opposed to 9 that'll be on that final demolition list.
Perfect. I'll go back and fix my typos after that, I promise. Anything else?
That's all.
Thank you, sir. The engineer report is posted online. The link is there. MS4 reminder, please do not trim grass and weeds onto the streets. Please sweep your sidewalks and curb lines to avoid debris gathering in the storm water system. The manager report, I will take care of that. The upcoming events are listed there, rec board meeting, a couple concerts. Since this is our last meeting before the holiday, we are closed on July 4th. You will see a change in schedule. We are moving up the July 12th meeting. We're moving it up to the first Tuesday, so our next Borough Council meeting will be held on Tuesday, July 5th, 2022. So that is noted there. We're moving it up a week. The reports and updates are listed there. Legislative locator, the league link, and the Allegheny County Connection newsletter. The sheriff's sale is listed there for May of 2022. Again, all of those links are working list, the bid list, postpone list, et cetera. And the list of properties are all listed there. New ones, the date that the hearings are, and then anything that was postponed, overbid, et cetera, is all listed there.
Scott, is it possible to take that 622 route off of there? It's been purchased and it's actually being rehabbed right now.
Okay.
There's 3 houses in a row that somebody could,
Yeah, there's some momentum on that block.
yeah, for sure.
Tom, he's doing one with her.
Yeah, he's next to that one, that was the sheriff's sale.
Certainly. All right. New business. All right, can I have a motion to pay the borough bills for the month of June 2022?
So moved.
Second.
Ray on the first, Brian Schneider on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously 6-0. Can I have a motion to accept the resignation of Adam Blythe as councilperson for the second ward effective May 31st, 2022?
So moved.
Second.
Brian on the first, Luann on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously 6-0.
I'd just like to thank Adam for his work on council, and Adam's a great guy, and he'll be missed.
Agreed.
I would agree. So direct follow-up to that, can I have a motion to direct the council president to advertise for interested candidates to fill the seat of council member of the second ward, serving until the next municipal election?
So moved.
Second.
Ray on the first, Carrie on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously 6-0. Can I have and this is exactly what we were just talking about the meeting. Can I have a motion to ratify the legal advertisement and public notice to reschedule the July 12th, 2022 regular council meeting for July 5th, 2022 at 6 p.m.?
So moved.
Second.
Carrie on the first, Brian on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously 6-0. Jumped a little too far. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 22-04? Ordinance of the Borough of Tarentum, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which prohibits affixing or placing any sign, advertisement, notice, or placard onto traffic signs and utility poles belonging to or being used by the Borough of Tarentum.
So moved.
Second.
Ray on the first, Brian Snyder on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously 6-0. All right, these next 2214, 2215, 2216, and 2217 are vacant property resolutions. So we'll go through them one by one. I will read the motion and then I'll have Anthony just do a little quick, actually, I'll give you a little quick explanation time first for do the first one for 1008 East Street.
Sure, this 1008 East Street is the adjacent empty lot to the 1006 that you'd already approved purchase of that brick building. It was a duplex. The gentleman across the street had already acquired that from the county, and part of the stipulation was that he get the adjacent lot for parking for the building. So this is the follow-up to that other property. So he's following through on that plan to have both of those properties. So you would be approving that he have the lot for parking. So that's not, he's following along what was recommended.
Any questions? Can I have a motion to adopt resolution number 22-14, resolution of the Borough of Tarentum, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, approving the acquisition and subsequent disposition of numerous parcels of vacant property known as block and lot number parcel 1223-K-249 will be in accord with a comprehensive plan of Tarentum Borough.
So moved.
Second.
Ray on the first, Brian Nolan on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously, 6-0. All right, the next one, Anthony, is 545 East 3rd Avenue.
Yes, that one is similar to the previous one where Alexis Hurlbut, who owns the home on 3rd Avenue, had previously acquired a parcel where we demolished that structure. She got that through the county program. She is now applying to get the other lot that is adjacent to that one. Those were the 3 empty lots that were also, the county housing had applied as well to acquire those. But this one, she had put her application in hoping that she'd be able to get that additional property. And with her plan is to ultimately get all 3 of them to enlarge her yard and then put a fence around it. So she got the one already. She's trying to get this additional one.
She's been maintaining that.
The borough has been maintaining it. The borough's been cutting the grass there, but that was part of the thing. She said, I'd like to take over maintenance, but she didn't want to do it until she actually owned it. She can't put the fence up at this point until she is able to get that 3rd one.
But she's got to get this one before she gets the
Correct,
third.
yeah, the county will only let her do 1 a year.
And this is the same property that the county was shooting around the idea of making a parking lot. And I think we talked about that earlier, that, we all are in agreement that we like the
Yeah, they
idea.
wanted to put up a maintenance building there as well.
Yeah,
And a resident wanting to do something with it.
right.
And I don't know if the county will still pursue that 3rd lot. They had wanted both of those lots for their plans. They may still, but I'm not certain.
We'll
So that
cross
may come down the line.
Right, we'll cross that road when we get there. Any questions on that one? Can I have a motion to adopt resolution number 22-15? Resolution of the Borough of Tarentum, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, approving the acquisition and subsequent disposition of numerous parcels of vacant property known as block and lot number parcel 1224-J-125 would be in good accord with a comprehensive plan of Tarentum Borough.
So moved.
Second.
Ray on the first. Carrie on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously, 6-0. All right, the next one, Anthony, is 406 East 9th Avenue.
Okay, this one was a house that we also demolished. Ridgepoint Church had asked to acquire it from the county. They want to use it as a green space, have some of their church activities and children's activities. They want to have an outdoor library at some point. I don't see any reason for them not to use this. It will have a public interest. And in addition, there's another house that's adjacent to that. They plan to also acquire that house through the county program, and then they will demolish it. They want to have that whole block, and they can do a lot. They can do a lot more. I think their plans are at some point to put up a pavilion, maybe with an outdoor kitchen, so that they can have some events and have even like a summer lunch program, something to that effect. That's their long-term goal with that, but so that's something that they're going to pursue once this goes through. Their next application will be to acquire that other lot that's abandoned, that house that's abandoned, and they would demolish it themselves. The borough would not have to demolish that one.
Any questions? Can I have a motion to adopt resolution number 22-16? Resolution of the Borough of Tarentum, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, approving the acquisition and subsequent disposition of numerous parcels of vacant property known as block and lot number parcel 1223-H-289 would be in accord with the comprehensive plan of Tarentum Borough.
So moved.
Second.
Ray on the first, Brian Nolan on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously 6-0. And finally, the last property is 204 Lock Street.
204 Lock Street. This was a property that the house had burned down. The Bridges Construction that purchased the roller rink across the street, they had asked to acquire it from the county so that they can have parking for their business there. Again, we had talked to them about trying to take and as many vehicles off the street as possible to have some off-street parking, so they're following through on that request from the borough. I saw their initial plan. They're going to improve it significantly. They're going to pave it, and it's going to be done. It looks like it's going to be done very, very well. I can't remember how many spaces they're going to create, but I think it's like at least a dozen parking spaces. And I think it would be beneficial not only to improve that lot, but I think as being a community partner, we kind of stressed that to them. You know, I think they'd be okay with if Eureka needed to use it for something, they'd be on board. So I think it's a good idea for them to have that. Just as a funny side note, we've been sending so many of these to the county that they sent me one and they said, hey, we need you to vote on this one. And I'm looking and I said, that house doesn't look familiar. And then they said the street, and I'm like, we don't have that street in Tarentum. It was in Penn Hills. And they just were sending so many to us that we got one of theirs too. And I sent it back. I said, no thanks, but no thanks.
Nice try.
Yeah, but I think this is definitely a good use of the property as well. So
Anthony, are they gonna be parking equipment there or just cars?
I think it's just going to be the employees' cars.
The public won't be able to use that parking lot, Anthony?
I don't know. I think it's going to be one of those things that we'll have to work out with them if the public does request. Maybe they would allow weekend parking if they're not using the building. It's something that we can discuss with them. I know some of the residents around there have some trouble finding parking at times, and if we have events in the park, maybe they would be open to that. We can certainly discuss that with them.
Weekends or evenings.
Right, similar to, I think, what Blackburn's does with their parking lot. Maybe that's something they would consider.
Any questions? All right, can I have a motion to adopt resolution number 22-17, resolution of the Borough of Tarentum, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, approving the acquisition and subsequent disposition of numerous parcels of vacant property known as block and lot number parcel 1223-S-51 would be in accord with the comprehensive plan of Tarentum Borough.
So moved.
Second.
Right on the first, Carrie on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously 6-0. motion to adopt resolution number 22-18, resolution of the Borough of Tarentum County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, authorizing the execution of a comprehensive maintenance agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation.
So moved.
Because
Is that you? Ray Kerr on the first, Luann on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously 6-0. These next few are some of the event requests. Can I have a motion to approve the request of Bridgepoint Church to hold 4 Church in the Park events, July 24th, July 31st, August 7th, and August 14th, 2022, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Magneta Amphitheater.
Second.
Brian Snyder on the first, Carrie on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously 6-0. Motion to approve the request of Leah Potter to hold a community concert in the park. Typo there, apologize. At the Magneta Amphitheater, including the use of electricity on August 20th, 2022.
So moved.
Karen the first, Brian on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Well, we're sorry, we're dying from the heat. They're dying from the heat.
Passes unanimously 6-0. Can I have a motion to approve the request of Gatto Cycle to close Wood Street between 6th Avenue and 7th Avenue on Saturday, June 18th, 2022, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.?
So moved.
Second.
Karen the first, was that Brian Nolan on the second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously 6-0. Finally, motion to approve the request of Blackburns to close Corbett Street between 1st Avenue and 2nd Avenue from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Friday, June 24th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Karen the first, Brian on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes unanimously 6-0. I'll go back to the other one, since I did not put it on there. If you would like, I can reach out to her in the next couple days and either ask for somebody else to be the spokesperson, or I can just say, hey, you know what, this is not something we do.
Yeah, I think it's a moot point. If we didn't do it for others, how can we do it?
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think we should get into the habit of.
That is,
private parties.
since I live on 8th Avenue, and that is a busy street, not only for like us, but people on Hazlet is a one-way street going towards Ormond, and you know, that,
I'd like to fill out the resolution for the street closure.
Works for me.
no.
All right, I will give her a call by the end of the week. Excuse me, can I have a motion to ratify the municipal bid sale of a 2016 Ford Explorer Police Interceptor SUV in the amount of $8,800?
So moved.
Second.
Karen the first, Brian Snyder on the second. All in favor? I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously 6-0.
I'll give it to you.
The next two are ratifying hires.
You want to explain a Class A and a Class B?
Yes, so a Class A employee is the explanation I was given, because I asked that exact same question. A Class A employee is everybody but Teddy. So a Class A employee is everybody but water distribution. For whatever reason, at some point in time, they were given a different class.
Well,
So
because the rate of pay.
Okay.
Yes.
So he's given a Class B employee. Before I read both of these, there was some discussion about hiring at a higher rate than 80%. Mark had reached out to Luann and myself about hiring based on experience and whatnot. To be honest with you, that's not something we've done in the past. We have not jumped anybody. The last few guys that we've hired in Public Works, I don't think we have jumped anybody higher.
No, the last one had been the water plant, we jumped up to 90.
So it's not lit, I don't have that listed in the motion as higher, as anything different than the typical 80%. I don't know what people's thoughts are on either one of these hires and anything other than what we typically do.
I think one of the thing with Nicholas was he's worked here for a couple of years, so he does have experience, but.
It's in the contract.
I'm sorry?
That's in the contract, because we had the same thing with Tom Weslowski at the water
Right,
plant.
but he started at
He had
90.
experience, but our contracts, it doesn't, you know,
Yeah, I didn't
you have
think
a
he
break in
did.
service.
You gotta go by the
He started at 90.
Yeah.
He didn't start at 80, he started at 90. And then
Didn't
he
we
had to
have a
wait till
big
year.
discussion about that and it was decided that
He wanted to
should
go to
stick with the
100%
contract?
earlier than he was supposed to, and we said no, because of his experience and his classes. And that's what Mark had said about Nicholas, has been here for a couple of years. He's somebody you can just say, go do, and he knows what to do. And Dan's already gonna be making a little bit more money anyway because of I think it's $1 or something.
Yeah, it's
More, it's something like, he'll be making a little bit more anyhow than regular street department. So,
Luann, would
Yes.
it take 3 years to get to full pay? From like 70 to 100%? Or
no, they start at 80%.
I think it's 6 months.
It's like 6 months and then 6 months.
It's a probation
Yeah.
period.
Yeah, it's like a 6 months at 80%, then $6 at 90, and then you go to the 100%.
I didn't know if it was the same as.
No, it's not the same as the police department, it's a little bit different.
In my personal opinion, I don't think that's a precedent that we want to start.
I agree.
But again, that's just,
No, just go.
I think you should go with the contract.
I understand Mark's reasoning, I just don't know
Yeah.
when I open that can of worms.
Well, that's just what he contacted me for, to bring it up and to discuss it, and I will call him in Denver and let him know.
That being said, I'll read it as is. Can I have a motion to ratify the hire of Nicholas Hilliard for the Public Works laborer position as a Class A employee with a start date of June 6th, 2022?
So moved.
Second.
Here, I listed you as on the first, ladies first, Ray on the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously 6-0. Motion to ratify the hire of Daniel Dobies for the water distribution operator position as a Class B employee with a start date of June 13th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Carrie on the first. Adam on this, goodness gracious, Ray on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously 6-0. I do a lot of talking and typing at the same time.
It's okay. It's hard.
All right, I need a break. We'll move on to some committee reports. Carrie, we'll start with you, AVN COG.
The COG office should be moved in to the Murphy Building by July 1st. Crossing fingers, because there was some renovations that needed to be completed for that. But all the wheels are in motion for us to be hosting our COG office, which is very exciting.
Awesome.
Yes. Also, we conducted interviews for a new director for COG. The selection will most likely be hired at tomorrow night's meeting. That's all I have.
What's tomorrow's date, June 15th?
Yes. I think it's tomorrow.
It is now.
Third Wednesday. Yeah,
Anything else?
that's all.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Mr. Kerr, Business Advisory Committee.
Okay, on May 25th, we had our business luncheon at the Growing Garden, hosted by Heather Wells and her mother. And I want to thank them for welcoming us into their business. A couple of the items we discussed were learning to use social media and food trucks for the night market. Francine Costello from Costello Printing and Design has 2 people working for her that are willing. They put together a small packet for us, and they're willing to come in to our next luncheon to train us how to use not just Facebook, but Instagram and, what's the other one? Twitter. And they're willing to do it.
They're gonna tweet.
And I guess they're going to be driving up from Pittsburgh because they've been working from home since the virus. And because of the gasoline, she continues to let them work from home. And
That's during the June meeting?
yes. And the next, getting to the June meeting, it's next Wednesday, the 22nd. It's going to be hosted by Desiree Singleton, the owner of Harvest Moon Coffee and Chocolate. And we'll be having it in Riverview Memorial Park at the Magneto Amphitheater area at noon. And, any council people that want to attend, if you're available, please attend. And I'd like to welcome Denise Sloan, the owner of Vista Vintage and Handcrafted Goods, located in the Harrison Building at 408 Corbett Street. She just opened this month, and from what I understand, things are doing fairly well. Also, Haley's Hair Creations and Spa at 318 East 5th will be celebrating their first anniversary. I believe they're going to celebrate it Thursday at market night. And if anybody has driven through town, the Praha is having a new facade put on, and it looks really great. They're getting that all fixed up, and hopefully in July or so, they're going to have a garage-type door put on where they have that little alcove and be able to put some tables out there, plus it's a handicapped entrance for any wheelchairs. And it was late getting the letters out for the market, or for the luncheon, and because Michael did that, and I just, scribbled something down so he could type up the letter and everything, so I did it, and I, of course, screwed it up a bit. So I want to give a big shout out to Michelle for, fixing my mistakes, pulling my butt out of the fire, so to speak, so.
With the Praha, I want to mention, when I was leaving today, driving up the street today, the same crew that was working on the Praha was down a little further, talking to somebody down there, so I'm wondering if somebody down at this end by the old Isley's building or something is thinking about doing some facade work, because they had them down there pointing at the building and stuff.
Were they at Herman's Buildings or?
Yeah, like Herman's
Okay.
Buildings or something, so, I mean,
Okay,
they
yeah.
did that, maybe it's a good start for
Yes,
Corbett,
yes.
because, start working on stuff like that.
Yes.
Is it Vesta or Vista? V-E.
VESTA.
That's what it is.
Is the Praha planning on, after they get these renovations done, are they planning on being open more hours?
I asked Chris that after our last luncheon, and she said the problem is the people working for her on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday have other jobs, and they can't get enough people to work.
It's like any.
And, yeah, she said that,
You got free time?
I don't have any free time,
that
but I would like to get out and eat.
Amen to that.
Thursday.
speaking
Yeah,
of
Thursday.
that, speaking of that, last Thursday, my wife and I went down, I don't know, about 9 o'clock, and she was telling us that when she opened, she had 2 groups of 11 show up.
Wow.
So, there are people want to go there.
They do want to go there, and the food's so good.
Yes,
She's an excellent cook.
yes.
And it's just a shame that she can't get people that want to come there and work so that she can be open like she was before.
Yes, she said she just can't ask her employees to work.
Yeah.
Even, I asked her about just opening on Wednesday, just once they get it fixed up.
Yeah.
She said that she just can't ask them to do more.
Yeah, because even like on Thursday, she doesn't open until like 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people that just go out to eat for lunch,
Yes.
and And she has good food if you like to go for lunch.
Well, we experienced that in the borough with the summer help.
Yeah.
You know, we got no applicants,
No
Really?
application, None.
0.
Wow.
And that's the first time we've never had an
And,
application.
you know,
Wow.
my personal experience, I have a 14-year-old son that is dying to work. He works under the table every possible place he can get. As a 14-year-old kid, he's got, you know, a work ethic that's people would kill for. And,
We need
you know,
more kids like him.
Right.
Well,
You know,
that's how the program used to be. It used
Right.
to be
You know,
for
he's
kids,
di- you know,
now it's
he's
18.
hustling everywhere he
really?
can get, but we've got, you know, we got 0 applicants.
Scott,
amazing.
one other thing, and Luann is gonna overlap into the street department. I talked to Mark Anuzik, they're going to close Corbett Street between 4th and 2nd
Oh, from Murphy
at
Lane.
4 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock, an hour early, because the people need time to set up. And they're going to open it no sooner than 8:30, it's gonna be like 8:30 to 9, because last market night, when they opened it at 8 o'clock, it was green flag racing. Cars were just, they're trying to pull in parking spaces while people were trying to load up and everything.
They didn't even leave it closed that long.
And another thing I talked to them about is, it's especially the vendors from out of town, that they need to bring some garbage bags, or the night market committee is going to, they might bring garbage bags for them, because they're filling up our decorative trash containers with their stuff, and actually, that stuff's there, so when I get a coffee from Harvest Moon and I'm walking up Corbett, and I finish it, I have somewhere to throw my cup. It isn't for the vendors to put all their trash in it from the night. So we're working on, I'm gonna call Waste Management, they can get these, they have these cardboard boxes that if they'll give them to us, then they can put liners in them just for that night. So,
The only request I do have, since you brought up about the street closure, because they contacted me very late last month about closing the street, so I emailed, I think Michael was still here, but I know the chief and Scott about it. And, but I had a lot of complaints about people did not know the street was going to be closed. So if there could be some type of, even a couple signs saying that Corbett's gonna be closed from this time to this time, put on the poles, maybe the police department could hang just a few of them.
Yeah, I'll mention it to them.
Yeah, just a couple anyway, because they did not know, and then they, like, people that were working, you know, were parked there, and then they went out and they're like, wow, what's going on? Because they had no idea.
You know, maybe
But
too,
it
when
was very short
Advertise, they can
notice.
put that in their night market advertisement now too, that the street will be closed.
I'll
Because,
mention
yeah,
that
maybe he can
to,
add that, because they're always
Diana.
advertising, and we all share it all over
I'll
Facebook.
call Diana.
Yeah, and then maybe they can put that on, or that street will be closed from this time to this time
What
too.
time are you gonna close it, Luann?
4 o'clock
Till nine.
until, you could say 9.
Say 9, I think it's
Okay.
closer, better.
Yes.
And then that way it'll be in that hour, so people that read that will know that that part, Corbett Street between.
2nd to 4th?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that first time was an experiment,
Yeah,
you know,
well-
they didn't even know how it was gonna work
Yeah.
out.
I think it's nice to do
Because
that.
they never wanted to close any of the streets. But we have a lot of the vendors in that, they complain
Right.
because they say that, the cars speed and someone's gonna get hit, and I think it actually attracted people to stay longer.
I like it because if you have
They-
the kids
they
and stuff
stood
like
and they
that, you
talked.
feel safer with your
Yeah.
kids.
Yes. And
Now,
you
the
could-
only other request I have for market night is that they don't set up right in front of a business. Because I don't think it's fair to a business, it's a viable business.
Well, Tammy actually tries to show them where to set up.
Like, you couldn't see Merle Norman last time.
Oh, really?
Because-
I never get down that far.
Yeah.
They could be on the other side of the street then.
Like, what Tammy sent out a chart today, I
Yes.
got one in the mail, and it showed, I just got the one for 6th Avenue, and it has where you're supposed to be. She gave you a number and where you're supposed to set up. And so I'm sure she sent that out now for 5th Avenue and for Corbett
That'll
Street
help.
and everything, so that everybody knows,
Well,
you know.
that's good.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was a first time experiment, and then you
Right.
make it better
Right.
after that.
right. Because we're getting more vendors, you know. I know of 2 more that are gonna be setting up this time. I don't know where the one's going, but another one up on 6th Avenue. So, because I know Vintage Owl wants to set up from West Trentham.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, when I talked to her and she says, we just feel so left out of it. Nobody comes over here on market night.
It's a long walk.
And I said, well, you're allowed to go across town and set up a couple tables, you know.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, so I gave her Tammy's phone number so she could call Tammy and, you know, get a number to get set up over there. And then I was also talking to Eric Beck, the new chiropractor right up the street from me. And he wants to set up, to let people know that he's here and what he's doing and stuff. So that's like 2 new ones that I know of that I've talked to that want to be a part of this, which is awesome, you know, to get all this, you know, more people. The more people we have set up, the more people are going to come to town and know about Tarentum. They're going to shop here, they're going to eat here, you know. I mean, Tarentum is just like really bustling now. I mean, it's just awesome. It's really
I had a
good.
lot of communications with Dave Rankin this past month about market night. He was, I don't want to say he was upset at the business advisory, but he gets a little, he don't want that meeting to turn into a market night meeting. And I understand that, but that's kind of difficult when that's the only time businesses get together to be able to communicate with one another.
At the meeting that you
Or
already
luncheon.
have.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, at our luncheon.
yeah.
So, but they want to talk things out, like they want to be included and they want to, but my problem is, and Scott has said this a zillion times, he says, you know, that's one thing Tarentum Borough is really not involved with, but we are involved.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Right.
We close the streets, we
Yeah.
get called for things, but yada yada. But it really is the business, it's their night. It's their night to shine. So, but we can't have a free-for-all either.
Right.
You know what I mean? We can't have just anybody doing anything they want. So that's the only thing. But they are going to try and, my suggestion was to set up a committee for market night so that that committee could relay what is from the business owners, then that committee could relay to council what the happenings that are going on.
That's a
So-
really good idea.
But they are planning on having a meeting, so. to
Carrie,
do all
nothing,
that.
nothing against David, but at our luncheons, he will get up and talk about,
I know,
he brings the subject up sometimes.
I
Now,
know.
that's just David.
Yeah,
But
right,
it's
I know.
something to be
Yeah.
proud of, and I'm
Oh,
sure
yes.
he is very proud of it, but business owners want to vent. That's why
Yeah.
they're there.
Yeah.
So you gotta let them vent, and that's why they're there.
Well, and I could see where it could be like 2 separate meetings, like a market night meeting and a,
Well, that's what they need to do.
yeah, and a business
We're only
meeting.
there for an
Like,
hour.
you know, like Diana and Olivia and Desiree and all these people.
Right.
have
Then
their
you
own
can
meeting.
leave and then let them
Right.
handle their market day.
Yeah.
So that was my suggestion to
Yeah.
them, but, and I think it's gonna happen, it's just, you know, I think it would be better handled that way.
Just so I'm
It's just 2
clear,
different ballgames.
we're closing Corbett Street from 2nd Avenue, 4th Avenue, 4 PM to about 9 o'clock.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I added Facebook administrator to my list of duties.
But I just asked Anthony if the street department, I know they put up barricades, but he thinks, and I do too, that they have actual signs that said street closed.
Yeah.
They do.
And I'll talk to Mark and have him bring them out as well.
You'll have to talk to Kevin. Mark's out of town. Mark's on vacation.
Yes.
So get a hold of
Yeah,
Kevin.
they do that, but the street closed signs that I think should be placed is to say
So
ahead
people-
of time,
right.
so people know ahead of time, like they did for the parade. You know, like no parking here, you know, parade route or
They can put
whatever.
them out Thursday morning, put something out that says,
Yeah.
this street will be closed.
Yeah, or even Wednesday.
Or Wednesday.
I
You
think
know.
the chief is on vacation, but I'll give him a call and he can.
Yeah, even if someone's working over, you know what I mean? Okay, they come out to their car and now it's blocked in by the streets closed, they have tents all around them. You know, it's kind of not fair if they don't know.
Agree.
Yeah, I'll have him post, no parking signs
Thank you.
in that block there.
I think that'll help.
For sure.
All right, moving on to finance administration. You will see this is the first one that we have changed. We needed to make some changes with some of the committees since Adam is no longer with us. As I was typing up this agenda last night, you can see I listed everybody is kind of stretched all over the place. Brian, I didn't get a chance to talk to you. I don't know if numbers is your thing. From the last time I talked to you, it wasn't.
No, absolutely.
I have a math certification, so I kind of like numbers. In the time being, until we find somebody, I kind of, as long as everybody is okay with it, I listed myself as the chair of that committee. A lot of that work is already done from Alice anyways, just the budget reports and all of that kind of stuff. So my only report for that is the budget report, the check register, and the real estate transfer tax. They're all linked and available. All of those reports are online. I will keep my name on there until we find a seventh council person and can, reorganize just a little bit as far as committees, unless somebody else wants to volunteer and does that or has other thoughts. I don't want to take it from anybody, but
You can have it.
nobody likes math, so. All right, Parks and Rec, Carrie, back to you.
Okay, we had our first concert finally after rain, just say concert and it will rain in Tarentum. That we changed it from May 26th to June 2nd and moved it into the Praha. And thank you to the Praha for being so gracious to take us in at the last minute and still have, we had still 52 people in there for a concert, which was very good.
That was American Pie.
Yeah, it was American Pie, yes. June 4th was the Carrie Del Rosso Community Fair down at the Tarentum Park. The Recreation Board provided the food. It was a very nice day. And also thank you to her and her staff for doing such a tremendous job to bring that fair to Tarentum Borough. June 9th, we hosted Up the River Band. It was a beautiful night, so we did get the concert in. June 30th will be the Gents, and then July 7th will be Miss Freddie. August 11th, the Recreation Board will host their first concert and food truck event featuring Daniels and McLean, so please spread the word. As far as library, you all got a report. They're having a lot of different activities up there. Check out the report and check out the library. Stop in.
I apologize. 2 concerts after Up the River Bend. What are the next 2 days?
Oh,
June 30th
um,
is the
June. I know one was the
June
30th.
30th,
and July 7th.
Who's that?
the Gents.
The Gents?
Yeah, Gents.
Oh, Carrie, I did get asked, when's the next
July 7th.
issue
Miss
of our
Freddie.
Tarentum magazine coming out?
Why, what?
We just put out this one.
Miss Freddie, M-Z-M-S and
Probably
Freddie,
toward fall.
F-R-E-D-D-I-E.
My neighbor just asked.
F-R-E-D-D.
Yeah, Freddie, like Freddie, the freaking.
Oh, I need more magazines if you have them.
Awesome.
She's really good.
On your porch.
I know, but
You need more?
I passed them out.
Oh, I have more.
Okay.
All right, I think I got
It
all
says
that.
we're done here. I'll give it to you.
Anything else, Carrie?
That is all for recreation. Just a real quick update. You've heard me and Scott talk about the water taxi meeting that we attend. The only new thing on that is they're waiting on pricing for the Gateway Clipper. So, and the next meeting is tomorrow night for that.
All right. Property health and zoning, Mr. Nolan.
Well, I have Anthony's report here, unless Anthony has something he wants to extrapolate on, I have nothing. Is there anything you want to extrapolate on? No? We're good, Tim?
Luann, down to you, public safety.
The Eureka's monthly report is online. I'm assuming. That's it.
Excellent. Sticking with you, public works.
Yes, I have a motion to approve the curb cut request for the property located at 918 Corbett Street.
Before we ask for a second, I don't know if,
Do a discussion.
if Anthony, I know you sent an email out to council just for, discussion purposes. You want to give a 90-second synopsis and then.
Sure. When we finally figured out that Scott and I both were calling it 908 Corbett Street, we realized that it was 918. I think a couple people did get a chance to go look at it. There are some existing driveways on that section of Corbett as well. I believe the overall goal will be to take some relief from the parking issues up there. And, providing this driveway for this particular property will be helpful to them. And if council was to approve it, we would do it with stipulations. The conditions are it has to be paved, has to be done to industry standard, deal with stormwater runoff so it's not creating water issues for neighboring properties or for the borough. So we'll be pretty stringent in our standards for that.
Is that house empty right now?
No, it has a tenant.
Does? I
How
was
far is
looking.
that up from a Ninth?
It's actually the next, it's probably 3 houses up from Ninth Avenue.
Okay.
From East Ninth. It's the third house down from East 10th.
Oh, it's above the alley,
No, it's below the alley, right below the alley.
Stevens Alley.
There you have the house, that one, the newer looking house,
Yeah.
then it's the third house down from the
Okay.
alley. And they have a big spot to pull the whole way in past their
Yeah.
porch up to the back part of their house, so it's not like they would be right on the sidewalk or anything.
Okay.
Something in addition to that was we have to modify the ordinance now to allow for some kind of administrative permit fee because of the time that's involved in reviewing these applications. And if we ever have to, we should probably put something there that if we ever have to do an engineering study or for a traffic study, that certain streets will require that if they're PennDOT maintained. And then if by chance the property owner requests it, that they have assistance from the borough in removing the old granite curbs, that we should have a fee involved there. Most of the time, the contractor will do all the work and we wouldn't have to have that, but there are times when they need some assistance and we want to make sure that the borough is compensated and our public works, that's covered, that cost is covered. So we don't have to do that now, but I
That's
think
gonna
in
be
the future, my
manager
guess is that
task.
he's not gonna require any assistance from the borough on this, but maybe from this point on, we should
No, I
have
agree with
something
you,
on
that's what we
the rules.
talked about earlier.
Well, Anthony and I talked today too about getting a permit, because you have to make sure they get a permit, so everybody doesn't say, oh, look, they put a driveway in, I can. So if you have a permit, then they know they're gonna have to go through a permit. So they just don't start sticking driveways
Did they get a
everywhere.
permit?
Not yet. We have- the
They're
rest we're
applying.
approving.
They're requesting it. In the past, the fee has been, on the books was $950. But that was,
We were doing all the work.
right,
Right,
Public
the
Works,
curb
they
and
would
stuff.
bring the equipment, the materials, they would remove the old curb, they would actually build a concrete apron. And that was all included, where the borough actually basically prepared the sidewalk and cut the curb so there could be a driveway. And that fee went towards for those costs. But now the borough isn't taking on that labor, we have to modify that. But I think there should still be some administrative fee for the permit.
I guess that was my real question too. Because if this is approved, then you will make them get a permit.
Yes.
Okay. And second, we have an old curb
Correct.
ordinance that we need to modify.
Exactly.
Okay. I get it.
But all applications for curb cuts will still go through council. It won't be, I just think it requires the review of multiple people to take those things into consideration. There's always factors that maybe I wouldn't be thinking
Well,
of.
the chief
and I-
gets involved, you are
Yes.
involved, I mean, there's multiple people look at it.
All right, I'll second that motion.
made the motion, Carrie on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously 6-0. Anything else?
Yeah, the monthly report's gonna be online, and one of the things I have to say is I have to give kudos to the street department as usual, because they do a great job. They got that spray park open a few days earlier than it was supposed to be. They had issues down there. They were waiting for parts to come in, and we had that weekend coming up that was gonna be so terribly hot. And they worked all day, and they got it taken care of and got it opened up for them, so they did a great job. And that's all.
Stuff on there. All right. Carrie, back to you, redevelopment and revitalization.
Well, Ray already mentioned Denise Sloan's new business on Corbett, so I just wanted to welcome her to the borough also, and thank you for coming to Charon. That's all I have.
That's Vesta, is it Vesta Antiques?
Yes. I believe.
Vesta Vintage,
Vintage
Yeah,
Vesta,
something like that.
Vesta Vintage and handcrafted,
somethings.
or homemade crafts or something. I have it
I
here.
think it's
Vesta
too long.
Vintage Works.
We're just gonna call it Vesta.
We'll just call it Vesta.
Yeah, I think Vesta Vintage is
Vesta
sufficient.
Vintage and handcrafted goods is what it is.
We'll shorten that.
Before, sorry, I want to take a step back to Public Works. I listed Adam was the second person listed there. Again, that is open for anybody that is interested. Brian, I don't know if you're interested in doing something with working with Luann.
Yeah, I'll get on that.
I didn't want to leave it blank, but if you're in agreement, I didn't want to put you on there without asking you. All right. Good. Special events tourism, Mr. Snyder.
No report.
Utilities,
I guess it's down to me now.
yes, Mr. Kerr has replaced Adam, and he's already kind of jumped with both feet in the water. He's got big shoes to fill about coming up with some crazy statistics for water. And then we've got a discussion, cameras and whatnot. So Ray, I'll pass it over to you.
Okay, the main report for the Tarentum Water Plant, before I get into it, I just wanted to mention that this winter, and Luann can maybe help me out, we had a lot of water leaks in January, and we brought a company in for leak detection, and in May of 2021, we processed 31,838,000 gallons of water. May of 2022, after the leaks were taken care of and the water park was open a few days early, we processed 27,320 gallons of water, which was a 4,518,000 gallon difference with the leak detector. And I talked to Jeff Adams down at the water plant, and we're thinking about bringing a company in at least once a year, if not twice a year, until we can get the equipment and get our new water distribution man trained on it to find the leaks, because we are an old town and with the pipes and everything. Okay, moving along. They had 56 hours of overtime, and I'm not sure what that involved. All the DEP sampling had been completed. The repairs were made to number 3 river water pump and number 1 river water pump are 90% complete right now. And Tim, you can. They're done? Thank you. The maintenance was performed in the month, not including the testing, sampling, and the routine maintenance. 3 Rivers Diving capped off a single intake line that was leaking through a broken valve, keeping repairs to that number 1 river water pump from being done. Cummings generator maintenance was worked on, both generators. That's a contracted issue that they come in periodically and do maintenance. Hatch quarterly maintenance was done on lab equipment. They replaced the feed screw in the fluoride feed machine. They began repairing and painting the damaged areas throughout the plant from the leaking roof. And, well, Michael and I toured it, and Jim Bonner a few years ago, that the paint was coming off, and what are the tanks? The filters, that we're afraid that the paint's gonna drop in and cause trouble. So they're doing that. And is it Xylem Corporation is using our plant to test some new equipment. And they're going to continue using it. And everything, I think, is working real well. No?
Yeah, that kid's having a lot of trouble, so we're helping him out.
Okay.
A lot of leaks, mopping floors and stuff.
Yeah. And repairs were made on the sensor for the automatic gate. Somebody backed into it or something. So, okay, then getting on to the good part. The 27,320,000 gallons of water that was processed. If you have a non-high efficiency washing machine, you would do, that takes about 40 gallon of water for a load. You could do 683,000 loads of laundry. If you have a high efficiency, which takes about 20 gallon a load, you could do 1,366,000 loads of laundry with water we processed last month. So that's my Jim Bonner moment. Okay, the electric, okay, now the electric update. I was out talking to Howard Covey the other day at the electric building out at the garage. And he's continuingly, easy for me to say, to plan the updates and maintenance to the grid through pole change outs, upgrades to conductors, transformers, and other attached equipment. And he's trying to find a way to make the electric distribution, more trouble-free. He's working with Census, and that's the company that we get the electric meters off of, to build a load insight program so he can monitor any trouble problems. They would red flag on his computer so he could get there before the trouble happens. And he's continuing to trim the trees around the power lines so we don't have a massive outage. And that's what he does right now every day. And little longer term, midterm, I guess you could say, he's going to try to complete a power distribution project throughout the borough, continue the pole and conductor equipment upgrades, and he's exploring grants to cover any upgrade possible to help the borough in the power distribution. And long-term, he's trying to get everything set. Now, he works for Schulteis, but he's like assigned to us through them. We pay Schulteis Electric for him. And he's out there every day, and he's actually, I'm just amazed at the work he's getting done with some outdated equipment. So that's my power update. And also on the electric, or on the water plant, Jeff Adams did want me to offer any council members, the mayor, Anthony, if we want to set up a tour sometime of the water plant. If you haven't been there yet, it's pretty, if you ever worked in a factory and you know what's going on, you can, really appreciate what they're doing down there. So if you want me to set something up, maybe in an evening, if Jeff's available, I can do that. We can tour the water plant. We'll make sure you're on midnight or daylight.
Only if he's our guy.
And that's, pardon me?
I said, been through that many times.
Okay, and then you want to go into the discussion about the cameras?
Yeah.
Scott, okay, I met with Jeff and the company that put the cameras in for, through the police in the park and different places Jeff talked to, he had 3 bids about putting cameras around the water tank, at least one of the water tanks up on the hill, around the outside of the building and different places inside. And I talked to Scott about it, and so after a long discussion with Scott, we thought there's a few reasons that we should just have a discussion about this and not make a motion on it, because with all the improvement in technology and everything, if we would ever get Wi-Fi in the park, like a free Wi-Fi like businesses have, and a, what do you call it, Scott? There's
Like public Wi-Fi.
a public
Yeah.
and a private Wi-Fi in the park.
So Jeff reached out to Ray, and I was able to speak with Michael a little bit a couple days ago, just to kind of get some of the backstory. There has been money put aside in the budget since 2021, which means it was talked about in at least 2020. So there's not a lot of money, but there was some money put into the budget for the 2021 fiscal year, and nothing got done. And there was a little bit of money in the budget for this year. And Jeff and he reached out to Ray on Friday, and I was able to have a good conversation with him this afternoon, just to kind of get, for me personally, and I think for all of council, it was nothing that we really it was nothing that was brought to our attention previously. Neither here nor there, but it was kind of new information for a lot of us Friday afternoon. So I was able to speak with Jeff a little bit this afternoon and get some more details. And the more that we talked, the more that we kind of both came to the conclusion that yes, there is a need for some cameras down there, but also it is going to take some planning and some discussion to think about, what exactly do we want? What kind of money are we looking to? And I'm not trying to kick the can down the road any more than it already has been. But again, for a lot of us, and I invited Jeff tonight, and he had a prior commitment, so he couldn't make it. But he's looking for, some security, whether it be inside the building, whether it be outside the building, the gate area. We are in 2022 and the world is just crazy, so you never can have too much security, and I agree with him. Some different things that, depending on where some of the cameras are, they would be able to help the police department, if something is going on down there. The other side of it is, I do think it does open up some conversation with the one bid that he got. He got a couple different bids, and they were all over the place. There was a $30-some thousand bid, there was a $20-some thousand bid, then there's a $13,000 bid. Right. So when you look at that, you kind of, what's in the 30-some thousand that's not in the 13, vice versa. So I told Jeff that, I would bring it to council and start to get that ball rolling. We've got a lot going on down there. We're in the middle of trying to get a grant for a water tank down there. If we're able to get that opens up a whole bunch of avenues as far as funding for this. And maybe we do something even more than what Jeff is thinking, with some grant money. The other side of that is the company right now, there is some discussion that has happened about a lot of the cables that are in the park are old. And, we're in 2022 and we're running cables from the gazebo to this building, and we're running cables from Dresser Stadium to this building, and we're running, like you would do in your house. Again, technology's going nowhere but up, and so that opens up that discussion of, do we do something with a Wi-Fi system? You do something with a Wi-Fi system, again, that opens up a whole bunch of other doors. Hey, maybe we offer public Wi-Fi. I'm not saying that we are, but, we're upgrading our systems. And Jeff and I had a good conversation, don't want to jump the gun right now when potentially we've got, some new opportunities, why buy a window air conditioning unit when you're getting central air in your house next year? And he was in agreement with that. And again, he couldn't make it tonight, but between him, Ray, myself, our new manager, when we get one, that is going to be, a top priority for the water plan to finally get, to finally address it. I don't know if anybody else, I talked to most everybody. I didn't get a chance to talk to you, Brian, just about, just the idea moving forward to make sure that, we get it on the agenda. That I didn't want to put a motion on there and it not get approved and then it just kind of dies. But so I wanted to it's on there so Jeff knows, so that it's not going to be a, we're not kicking it down the road. But we want to have some internal discussion and some public discussion of, how we want to spend that money. Because again, 30-some thousand to 13,000 is a huge difference. And I'm looking at this stuff and it's, we need to have some more discussion. So I don't know if anybody else has any other opinion.
I agree with you that, times are going a lot faster than we can keep up with. But I do know companies offer that, I don't know, it's like an eye in the sky thing, where it's, everything's Wi-Fi, fiber optic, and you can get town-wide cameras, you have a consultant, you go to this company, you say, these are our 5 or 6 main areas of concern, and then they send people in, water tanks, water plant, park, dangerous intersections, whatever, and then that's all, it's sort of like, almost like Ring doorbell technology,
Right.
Like you can, basically get an app in the police department that'll monitor all those cameras all the time. That might be something that we could apply for a grant for. But is there vandalism going on right now? Like, are the cameras something that
My reason for being here is, we need cameras on the outside of buildings. The one down the pump house hasn't worked in a few years, so unless we get down there every half hour, we have no idea what.
Yeah.
My problem is, why do we need cameras inside that water plant? I have an issue with privacy. For instance, we put chemicals in upstairs, carbon. Carbon comes in powder form, it's like graphite, it goes right through your clothes. And on months like this, if I put carbon in upstairs, the only fully air-conditioned room in there is the lab. So I strip down to my underwear and change my clothes. I don't know who's gonna be watching this,
That makes 100% sense.
My
But then again, I
I'm
mean,
gonna be watching
you
that.
have absolutely
Well,
no
online you can't.
expectation of privacy at work though, either,
Well,
Well,
if they're putting cameras in, I think you do.
No, I mean, it would be,
Like they can't put them in a bathroom.
transparency, you
Well,
have, no, of course you can't put them in the bathroom, but work on the floor, so to speak, yeah, there's no expectation of privacy. Every job I've ever had has
My
had
issue is,
cameras.
who's gonna, is Jeff gonna be able to watch this on the phone? And how do I know
Well-
Jeff's wife and daughters aren't watching
You
this?
see, now you're.
I mean,
You know what I
could,
mean?
Your point is exactly why we're not voting on it.
Right.
Because I think
Too much information.
I
we've
mean,
got,
I'm
you know.
Everybody up there is a little, he didn't mention this to everybody. I found out through another employee. If he would've came to us all, or either had a meeting or one-on-one says, hey, I wanna put cameras in here, then it would've been a different, and I'm not looking to pick a fight with him, it's gonna make my job tougher. But, I don't know, if he told you, I wanna keep an eye on the water levels or something, there's somebody in that plant 24 hours a day. Why spend money on extra cameras if you really don't need them? That's my point.
Yeah.
I would
I agree with that. I don't think there should be-
Like a point of entry, not just
Yeah.
wherever.
Right.
Yeah,
And
maybe
those
if
are all
there's a
why-
window or a door that might be compromised,
But
I
I
could
don't
see
think
one
it would-
there.
You have back doors like above the,
Right.
that metal building, there's a back door in the corner. Somebody could jump the fence at night and come in there, I could, at one time, I guess they did have cameras there, but not since I've been.
Yeah, I think they're,
They were so upset.
and all of those points are why, it's not on the agenda as a motion, because we're not ready to make a decision, because
Like I
there is
said, we
discussion
do
that
need
needs to be
cameras. I
had.
agree with cameras,
Yeah.
On the one camera we have on the gate right now, it looks like you're looking through bars. There's stripes on the monitor, it's hard to see, but I can't see. Jeff's gonna find out I was here, and he's gonna be upset, but I can't see spending money on cameras on inside that.
Well, I can see the cameras over the, what do you call those, holding tanks or
Out front.
the water, where the
Those
water
are filters,
is?
Those 4 pools in the front, they call them.
Like, I could see maybe cameras on those areas, because that's, you're not gonna go in there and strip naked, are you?
You don't go swimming in there, do you, in your underwear?
I would probably do
So,
that.
but I do agree that we do need them, I mean, because they are old and they're obsolete, but I do agree that
But you have a
we
good
need
point too
to,
about, if you're gonna get internet,
Right,
there needs to be an investigation
You
done.
need
Right.
more specs.
Right, we need to have much more discussion, but I told him that I would put, that it is on the agenda, so it is public record to know that, it's not something that we're just gonna go in and out. And the other side of it
I
is,
don't know what they charge for extra cameras, but there's some things down there we could spend the money better use.
Was there a number of cameras discussed?
No,
the one quote mentioned like 16
Yeah,
cameras.
16.
Which again, that's why I wanted to start a discussion, so it doesn't just get kicked down the road. But the example, that is a perfect example, is we need to have a longer discussion.
Well, I'm sure these companies that come in that want to put 16 cameras in,
Yeah,
you know
right.
why they want 16 cameras.
Oh, right.
So
And
that's why you need
in my
specs.
opinion, we invite those companies to a council meeting and say,
Yeah.
what,
but you know what, that,
explain to me what.
That could be coming from Jeff too. Jeff could say, I want, hey, yeah, it's.
but that's what I'm saying, that's why.
And
you
I
have to
doubt
have
it if
specs
all
on it.
We also
the,
don't
all
want
of
it
the
turning
bids were
into
so
a hostile
different.
work environment.
Oh.
If all the bids were so
No,
different, I doubt it. I
Oh,
think he'd
yeah.
just come in and say, give me a bid,
Why
so.
don't you just get us a couple of.
Get you a couple blinks and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll get you a couple blink
Get them
cameras.
a
Like
ring
cameras would be
doorbell. That's all they need.
I wouldn't give you
Get them a
a
ring
salary.
doorbell.
You have to talk to the chief of police about deputizing you.
But we don't put anything out to buy without, we don't say, hey, we're gonna buy a truck, so everybody give us a bid.
Right.
Because your trucks are specified to what you want. So if we do a bid for cameras, all the bids are gonna be X amount of cameras, X amount of this, X amount of that. No, we're gonna put 16, well, we can do 4. They all have to be the same so you can compare them. Just to what's the best, apples to apples, yeah.
I was working one day when one of the salesmen come in, and Jeff walked him outside. It's like, what's the big secret? That's why I took offense. I'm thinking, what's this guy, does he want to spy on us, or, what's his motive? So.
Well, then if you walk up in that
Do you think
office, you're
like a
gonna show up in the
security
cameras of the
consultant would
police
be going
department.
overboard to have them walk the,
So that discussion will be happening.
Yeah, it's just,
I do walk around a plant every 2 hours at least.
Yeah.
And honestly, that, not to continue the conversation any longer than it needs to be, but the Wi-Fi piece of it, that all starts to look at as a manager, as a part of that kind of master plan,
Yes.
So,
Well, there could be a grant out there, I'm
right, there
sure.
could be grant money out
for-
there.
Oh,
all
And-
over the borough.
Security and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, like,
And even,
like
and
through-
even to.
Yeah, because I mean, we
you know,
have intersection cameras and things
Yeah.
like that, but
Right.
nowadays, like you said, technology is moving in a forward direction, and I bet you that there is, grant funding out there for
I
something like
guarantee
Who do you
you,
get
and
a
guarantee you there's
reliable
grant
number
money
from?
out there.
The camera company's gonna come in and tell you, you need 60 cameras.
Exactly.
Because they're
Because
selling
they're
them.
selling you 60
You know,
cameras.
like-
And they're gonna give you a reason why.
Right.
Exactly.
That's why
All
you
right.
go write it all down. So we discussed.
Before I get to the second citizens comment piece of it, these two things are not on the agenda, I'm sorry.
No, nothing.
Oh. These two things are not on the agenda because literally one came in at 2:54 and one came in maybe even later than that when I was walking from my house to here. But speaking of grant applications, we got an email from PennDOT. They are accepting ARLE grant applications all the way to the end of the month, June 30th. This is from our engineer. Last year, we applied for a complete upgrade of Freeport Road and Grantham Street. So we can either reapply and update the application and resubmit it, or we can come up with something else between now and June 30th. But that literally just came in today from Mark R.
Yeah, it's kind of fun when the big trucks go over the manholes
Yeah.
and it shakes the house right next door.
So,
Tell
you
me
know,
about it.
I'm okay
We
with
fixed a
kind
lot
of
of them.
resubmitting that
We still-
application and giving it
Well,
a
that was
second
one of
try.
Michael's
Yeah. They did down here, too.
recommendations too, to resubmit
On
that
Grantham?
application, because it's been
We
put
don't
in,
want to
what,
set
3
that.
different
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
years?
they did some right after they did
So
up
I
there.
think that we should move forward with that.
Okay. The other one was another grant that came in, and it's actually it is from, again, I'm seeing it for literally the second time, Director of Housing Redevelopment Authorities, HARIE. It is the 2022 HARIE Safety Improvement Grants. They are announcing their 5th safety improvement grant to benefit its safety, improve safety measures and operations.
Well, I can tell you right now.
You could say safety, you could say camera, you could say all kind of different things, but
Yeah.
again, this is a literally just came to us,
There
and
you
it's grant
Yeah.
funding. Grant application is due August 19th, 2022. They are offering $50,000 in grant funding. Timeframe to expend funds will be 1 year from October 18th, 2022. I have not read through it all because I literally just got it. It's not a huge application, so I don't know if it's a matching, non-matching, but we'll get some more information on
Is that through Allegheny County?
Yes.
I was just thinking, safety, be like the crosswalk signs. The one at 7th and Tarentum Bridge Road don't work.
Right. Yes, I mean,
But that's a PennDOT sign.
well,
I'm
that,
talking
That's a
about,
PennDOT sign. We can't get grant money to work on PennDOT sign.
Yeah.
That intersection belongs to PennDOT. We maintain it,
I'd like to
but
see
it's theirs.
PennDOT do something about that.
Well, you
I'd like
need
to
to
see
contact
PennDOT do a lot of things, but I apologize, the maximum amount of grant eligibility to request is limited to $15,000, so I guess they're giving away a total of 15. Your application cannot be any more than $15,000. Again, just got this today, but again, we have until August 19th, 2022. So that is something that I definitely think we can work with Public Works and try to, put something together. This is, the application this is it right here. So it's not,
Gigantic.
yeah.
Is there a number on there that you can call the person that sent that?
No phone number, just,
Email?
I got it in my email, so at least there's an email.
Because-
There's a lady's name.
Why not apply if we could use that for the cameras at the water plant?
Exactly. I mean, we can,
As long as we're ready to get everything up and running within the year.
so it's safety equipment, they're looking at safety equipment materials money, occupational safety money, or safety risk management training money.
And the big thing is when do they award it?
Yeah, again, it
You know,
literally came in today, I
But you
printed it
can, you
out.
can dig more.
Right, but again, we have some time, it's not due until August 19th.
That one's more pressing, the other one,
Yeah, this one
Yeah.
I think we're gonna reapply.
just reapply.
To what we've already done.
You-
This one, I've written many grants for education purposes, and this
Probably
application
have the
is,
engineers look at it.
yeah, is nothing compared to ones that I've written, so it shouldn't be that difficult to get in, but they're not on the agenda, but, because I just got them today, but I didn't want to, not mention those, so.
Do we need a motion to go to work, to send the other one in as the same, or do we just go ahead and
Do we need a motion to
resubmit?
give our engineer permission to resubmit that application?
Yes.
So, that is probably Public Works, I would say.
Sure, why not?
Would you agree?
Okay.
Motion to approve,
Resubmission,
sorry?
nothing.
Well, engineer to reapply for PennDOT, I'm doing my best Michael impersonation. To reapply for PennDOT ARLE grant application using the same project from 2021, parentheses, upgrade of Freeport Road.
To be, it has to be submitted by June 30th.
Motion for,
Yeah.
motion to approve Borough engineer to apply for PennDOT ARLE grant application, is that all right?
Yes.
So it-
Want to read it?
I can't see it, do you read it?
Motion to approve Borough engineer to apply for PennDOT ARLE grant application using the same project from 2021, which was the upgrade of Freeport Road at Grantham Street. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
So you can give that to the engineers then.
Nolan, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously 6-0. All right, perfect. That one is done, and we can work on this one later on. All right. Brings us to citizens' comment section number 2. Again, this one is wide open. I know we've had a little bit of give and take, back and forth, which is fine, but Cindy, I'll open it up to you in the first row.
Okay. Cindy Homburg, 538 East 10th Avenue. I just want to thank the council members that gave me recipes for the book. I mean, this is awesome, and we should be having the book out in the fall. We're starting right now to type everything up and to get it sent in. So we had a great response. We probably have about 180 recipes. So this is really good, and some of them are like really cool recipes that we got.
Good.
And so the library thanks you for that. And I just wanted, we've talked about Tarentum Night, but I just want to remind you that it is Tarentum Night, and I will be up in front of Diamond Antiques selling library lottery tickets. So I know Ray's always there and buys them, and Carrie's always there and buys them. So if you're up there and you're up my way by Diamond Antiques, the library would really appreciate it if you would buy a ticket. They're only $5, and you can win lots of money. I mean, just like $100, $25, $50, but it's good for the whole month. It's good for the whole month, and it really helps the library out. So, we appreciate you and all your work, and thank you.
Yeah.
She talked really fast, did you get that all?
Back row.
Hi, I'm Lisa Kolodziejski. I live up on Collins Way in West Trentham.
Could you spell your last name for me, please?
Sure, it's Kolo, D as in dog, Z as in zebra, IEJSKI.
Thank you.
It's a good Irish name, right?
Did I spell that right?
Does it look right on the board?
I can't see that board, my eyes are too old.
See, thank you.
Yep, that's it, you got it. You got it.
And your address was what again? I'm sorry.
213 Collins Way. It's in West Toronto.
Okay, now you can do it.
Well, my first comment is, this is my first board meeting, but it's really nice to see democracy in action and actually working, so this is really nice, thank you. Secondly, I've lived up there, it's going on 30 years now, and my road could use a little bit of TLC. I get real jealous when I drive past the nice roads. It's, the only entrance to our house is that alleyway. There's me and one other home on that road.
It's a dead end.
It's a dead end road, and I've lived there 30 years, and it has been done once in those 30 years, but it kind of humps up in the middle and then divots on the sides, so if you don't have a higher vehicle, you could kind of just drag your whole center down there. And we do,
There has been potholes
yeah, we do our own,
occurring now.
we do some TLC on those on our own sometimes. But if that can be considered, that would be great.
Graded and then repaved.
Is that paved?
It is paved. It wasn't when I first moved in, and then they did put some blacktop over it. But there's a natural spring that occurs through that hill, so there gets a lot of runoff through there too. We get a lot of ice and water.
It needs a drainage upgrade.
There is a pipe that is underground, but the top of the pipe it's a plastic pipe. It's kind of been chewed off, so now the water comes out of that pipe and it goes directly across
So it
the
needs,
road.
that needs
So
to be
this whole
fixed too.
winter, it was just a big ice block on there. And not only right there, but before that, which was a cause for the ice helped to erode it, but then beyond it also is where it's gullied out in the center somehow.
Okay.
All right.
That up? Is it good?
Road
Yeah.
bottoming out.
Thank you for
Thank
you
you.
know, coming in and bringing it to our attention.
Thank you for listening.
I will add it to our list of areas that we kind of need to look at and check out.
We'll talk to Public Works.
But thank you for coming and participating. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Anybody else in the last row?
I am from Senator Williams' office, Senator Lindsey Williams, and you have to forgive me for being so late. I had a family issue that I had to attend to and made me late. I do apologize. I'm here just to observe what's going on with you and Tarentum and to report back to the senator. I will definitely be telling her about the PennDOT grant you're applying for, and that you should definitely ask us for a letter of support. Please do that. We will do it. I'll let her know that you're going to apply for that for sure. But any other grant at the state level that you're applying for, we do letters of support, and we're happy to do that.
Awesome.
And we do a good job, I think. Also, we have a few events coming up. And just to let you know, our Natrona Heights office, we have all kinds of constituent services that happen there. So if you get citizens coming that need something notarized, we do that for free. We do senior citizen bus passes. We do anything related to property tax and rent rebates for seniors, benefits, SNAP benefits, any of that stuff. We are a really good resource, and we really want people to come to us. You get some good foot traffic for sure. But
What's the address of that office?
It's in the
It's in the
plaza.
it's in the plaza. Yeah.
Do you happen to have any of the booklets for the rent rebate and stuff up there that someone could drop off down here
Yeah,
to-
absolutely.
at the tax office? Because hers are old.
Sure, absolutely.
She'll be here, she's there Mondays and Tuesdays, 10 to 2, I'm sorry, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 to 2. But if she's not there, you can even drop them in the office for her. She
I'd be
would
happy
have,
to
someone
do
just
that.
came in today and asked for them, we're like, oh, ours are 2019.
Oh,
So,
my goodness. Yeah, you definitely need the one for 2020.
Correct.
We actually do those for people all the time electronically.
Okay.
They get their check a lot faster.
yes.
But I will drop some because people need to look at them.
Oh, and that's a good thing too, I can tell them they can come up there and you'll help them file it then. Okay.
Absolutely. We are there to help. That's
Thank
the
you.
whole point of representing people is to help people. So the events we have coming up,
Absolutely.
the first one is demystifying Harrisburg, the budget. So it's for anybody who's interested. I'll leave this flyer with you guys. It's going to happen Wednesday, July 6th. Senator Williams, legislative director, will be on there answering any questions about, we have about the budget. And people are, anybody can register for it. You do it on Senator Williams' website. I'll leave this with you.
Thank you.
So that's a Zoom thing, so anybody can attend virtually. It's 6 o'clock on July 6th. The other one is also demystifying Harrisburg. We're trying to make it very transparent for people to understand what's going on in Harrisburg. Most people don't have a clue, and it affects your lives so directly, much more so than the federal government. But the other is the Office of Consumer Advocate. And this, nobody knows what they do, but they represent consumers of utilities. So gas, electric, internet, phone, all of that before the Public Utility Commission. So they represent the interests of the consumer before rate hikes are introduced. If there's any federal things that will affect utility customers in Pennsylvania, they go and advocate for that. Anyway, it's a good resource for people to learn about what's available utility-wise in Pennsylvania.
What is the date of that
Utilities are
one?
going up right now.
She'll leave it all for you.
I'll leave it for you. And then the last one, I don't know how many of you folks in Tarentum will be interested in traveling to Shaler, but we are having a shredding event to protect people's identity. It's kind of a hike to get there, but it's from 9, and it's also early in the morning, 9 to 11. We're going to be doing it with, partnering with Representative Sarah Inamorato's office. We'll be doing it there. People can bring 2 boxes of paper only, please, and we will have them shredded for free. So I'll leave those with you guys.
Where in Shaler?
It's at Kiwanis Park.
Oh, yeah, that.
Do you know that?
I have no idea what it is.
There you go. I'll leave you a few of them.
Thank
How's
you
that?
so much.
I'll just leave them all with you.
Perfect.
So again, I'll bring those property tax and rent rebate booklets. If you guys have anything else you need from our state office,
We'll do that.
just let us know.
Thank you very
What
much.
did you say your first name was?
I'm Marilyn, Marilyn. Last name's Oberst, Obers.
Saturday, Sunday.
I'll be in Harrisburg tomorrow.
Will you?
Graduation.
Who's graduating?
It's my school, we have it all. I'm supposed to be in Philadelphia tonight, but I'm here.
Oh, yeah, Ryan's wonderful.
Yeah, because I run the cemetery, Prospect Cemetery.
Oh, do you? Okay,
Yeah, and
okay.
he gonna be
Hey,
flying.
Scott.
Oh, very good. Yes, yeah,
have
yeah,
one
he's
thing?
wonderful. And he writes our letters of support too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I dealt with him, 2 years now.
I'll leave these. So you can get the information on it if you need
Well,
it.
Anything else in the back, sir?
Sir, you in the corner?
Sir in the
Just a couple
corner?
more comments. All those water leaks, those weren't, the guys on the street do a great job.
Yeah, they do.
A lot of those water leaks were in Creighton. We supplied Creighton's
Right.
water, so.
Thank you.
but-
And the other one was
most
the
of
big one-
major leaks were
The
not.
other one was the big one underground up on 7th Avenue where the water leak was coming, but it never came to the top because it directly went into a sewer line. So they never knew that that was leaking, and it was a lot until they found it with a leak. So it wasn't that they weren't fixing them or they saw leaks and they, that was a hidden one. That was a bad one.
And Ray, after hearing those numbers on washing machines, I saw on Facebook, L's on 6 is having a trivia night. You might want to get a team together.
Only if it has to do with water.
Hey,
Luann, I have a question. I mean, there was something on Will's Alley. Was there like a big hole or something that happened and they had that
That
blocked
actually
off?
that came in the one night as a sinkhole. That was a sinkhole, yes.
It wasn't very big.
It wasn't real big, but it was a sinkhole, and Mark sent somebody up right away.
Oh, okay, because I saw they had it blocked off and then the next day they had a piece of plywood over it or something.
Yeah. So I think it was undermined, it was like from water or something like that.
Well, there's all those springs up there.
Absolutely, well,
you
yeah,
know.
exactly.
We all have dehumidifiers, you know.
Oh, thank you.
If I sound a little paranoid.
Thank you
I
very
just-
much, she's awesome, I've met her
Just
several
recently
times.
watched Enemy of the State, and Will Smith's wife said, "Who's going to monitor the monitors that are doing the monitoring?" That's what my question is.
How long did she have to practice that line?
Do we have any aluminum foil for this guy's head?
Oh, no.
Hey, I want to tell you, without a borough manager, you did all right tonight.
I think they did excellent.
coming from a
That's a
former
lot of Scott.
council president,
You did really good.
I just want to give a shout out. This is the 247th birthday of the United States Army today, and, not because I was
It
in
is
the
Flag Day.
Army,
And-
but
So we're going to your house for cake after.
Yeah, he has cake.
yeah,
Wait, wait, I
there's a
say-
lemon cake up there. But I just want to give a shout out, and if you could put that, thank you.
It's in there.
And it's Flag Day.
Before I ask for a motion to adjourn, we all appreciate the kind words. Like I said earlier, we are, and Carrie and I were talking earlier, we don't have a manager, but I promise you, we are,
We're on it,
we're on it.
but we're doing it the right way.
Right, we're doing it the right way. I was up till 12:30 last night typing this agenda and trying to learn how to do this. But again.
Texted me at 7:00 in the morning.
Yes, if, please don't hesitate to stop into the borough office, reach out to any one of us. We are operating business as usual, so I'll appreciate your patience, but again, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us because we're not closed, we are wide open for business and proceeding. Full engines go.
All of our contact information is on
Everything is
TrentonBorough.com.
on there.
So,
So please don't hesitate to reach out, and I thank you for the kind words. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:58?
So moved.
second.
Boy, that's a good call.
I know, my dog is probably going, Mom.
First hour.
Oh, that's okay, the first hour is just blah, blah.
Is it gonna be online?
Pardon?
Yeah, it will be
It
online.
will be online, yes. Yeah, but you didn't have our pictures up there the whole time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know why. I noticed
Thank
that about
you.
halfway through,
It's like, oh, good, we're not on there.
So online will be,
just the agenda and all
Yeah.
my typos.
yeah.
Meeting is adjourned at 7:58.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I gotta shut these.
You gotta go, Jim, the gate's locked. I don't think you can get out that way. We have to get a key. You may have some. I've been to many, many things with her. She was very involved with us.
Anytime you want, if you want a meeting, we